Now on Up North Live News at 6. One of the largest community mental health organizations in the state is making cuts. How it will impact community needs going forward.
As of now, the barge still remains where it was.
The owner of a barge that's been on the shore or on the water in Grand Traverse Bay for 5 years was back in court today. Could the saga almost be over? Area law enforcement and emergency crews trained today with the National Guard. Look at what they were practicing.
Coming up in weather, wildfire smoke from Canada continuing to hang around through the upper Great Lakes region. A look at that and when we get more rain. All that next.
And we're live at the Cadillac City Council meeting where the city is giving an update on PFAS.
This is Up North Live News at 6 on 7 and 4.
One of the largest community mental health organizations in the state is on track to spend more money than it has. Northern Lakes Administration is looking into spending cuts. One of its emergency mental health crisis services is being reduced. Our Allie Baxter looked into this. She joins us live now from the Content Center. Allie.
Yeah, Maya, it's a team you may not know exists. The Family Assessment and Safety, or FAST team, was a 24/7 service. Now members will be on call 5 days a week with limited hours.
It's a resource that we use to help solve a problem if we're dealing with someone in crisis or families that are having issues that are repetitive.
That resource, a team of mental health professionals. They're employed by Northern Lakes, a community mental health authority that serves multiple northern Michigan counties. The members are known as the FAST team. They're on call 24/7 for children experiencing an emergency mental health crisis.
In cases where I've been involved where the FAST teams come, the families didn't know about the FAST team, and so it was something new to them.
Brandon Brinks is the road patrol captain at the Grand Traverse Sheriff's Office. He says in the past, deputies were able to call the FAST team for help in specific situations.
I think that's a huge benefit versus having somebody there in uniform. Sometimes that doesn't always help de-escalate things. We do the best that we can.
But last week, Northern Lakes administrators sent local law enforcement a message, noting in an email administrators made what they call the tough decision to reduce FAST team services from 24/7 to Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Having that non-law enforcement entity come in, it was very comforting to the family to have those people coming in, and also they're professionals. That's what they do for a living, is deal with people in crisis and searching out those resources, providing counseling, doing that type of management work.
In that same email, administrators cite a policy for intensive crisis stabilization services by the state's health department. The policy says it's optional for crisis stabilization units like the FAST team to be 24/7. For law enforcement, administrators noted,
we can still reach out to the 24/7 crisis hotline to see if there's anyone that can help the family out through that. And otherwise, we can still refer people to families, kids. We can still refer them to the FAST team for follow-up the following day if it's after hours.
We reached out to Northern Lakes to clarify and ask if law enforcement called outside of the team's new hours, would there be no on-call members to come to the scene? Northern Lakes told us this was a loaded question.
So there are still resources available. We just might not get a team that comes directly to the scene to help us out.
When we called Northern Lakes for comment, they told us only interim CEO Brian Martinez is allowed to make a statement. Martinez is on military orders and out of the office until mid-June. We were given the option to wait until next week when the two people Martinez designated to speak on his behalf would finally be available. Live in the Content Center, Allie Baxter, back to you.
A member of the McBain Community Fire Department was arraigned today on sex charges in Missaukee District Court. Joshua DeCuckoo faces 5 charges and is on administrative leave from the department. The charges include 1 count of CSC second degree, 1 count of accosting a minor for immoral purposes, a count of using a computer to commit a crime, and 2 counts of assault and battery. DeCuckoo is free on a $50,000 cash assurance bond.
Continuing our coverage as wildfires in Canada are still burning tonight and the smoke still lingering over our state. We are taking a live look at Drummond Island, where, as you can see, the sky a little more hazy than it is blue. The entire Upper Peninsula is under an air quality advisory.
It was issued by the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality. Pollutants are expected to be unhealthy for sensitive groups. Avoid strenuous outdoor activities, especially if you have a heart disease or respiratory disease like asthma. Look for symptoms like wheezing, coughing, chest tightness, dizziness, or burning of the eyes, nose, and throat. You're asked to reduce or eliminate activities that contribute to air pollution, like outdoor burning. Keep windows closed overnight to prevent smoke from getting inside, and if possible, run central air conditioning with a MERV 13 or higher rated filter.
And for more on the air quality and where the smoke may be moving to, let's turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix. Joe.
Yeah, we've dealt with this through the weekend. I mean, if you look up in the sky, it's way more white than bluish because of all that smoke, and these fires are still continuing. There are a number of large ones. We're going to show you this in our main weather segment coming up, still burning out of control up in especially portions of central Canada. But it tells the tale there. There's a look at Drummond Island, and it's just kind of gray, the view there this evening. Here's where we do have that air quality advisory. It is for the eastern UP through tomorrow. Pretty much all day due to that smoke that's aloft. But it could impact sensitive groups. Those with asthma or upper respiratory issues may be impacted by that smoke. Here's a look at it right now. You see where northern Michigan is there, Traverse City on the map. There's the smoke tonight, and then tomorrow this will lift actually north, but if you look up to the west of us, this is tomorrow evening, you see that big plume of smoke in western Lake Superior or down through Minneapolis. Some of that may work in later as we head into Wednesday, perhaps even into Thursday. Also tonight, there are some thunderstorms in Minnesota. We have some rain in our forecast. We'll tell you when that arrives, again, coming up in Maine weather.
An update tonight, 5 years after it sank in Grand Traverse Bay, the saga of Don Balcom's barge may finally and actually be nearing an end. It's been moved several times over that time, and Mr. Balcom has appeared in court several times over that time. This morning, he faced a judge and a hard deadline to get it moved. But as we have come to expect with this story, it's not quite over yet.
As of now, the barge still remains where it was. It has not been moved.
And for Don Balcom, the owner of the barge that first gained notoriety 5 years ago when it sank in the shallows of Grand Traverse Bay, not moving the barge is legally problematic.
Mr. Balcom pled guilty to one count of violating Michigan's Water Resources Protection Statute last year on June 27th. The court gave Mr. Balcom 12 months to move the barge, which is the condition that this case arose from.
11 months into that 12-month sentencing delay, and Balcom appeared back before Judge Hamlin with an update for the court.
We have a group of people from, I won't say where, they want to buy the barge, and they have 2 weeks to close the deal.
The clock is rapidly ticking to get something done. Only a couple of dozens of days left to get this either moved.
I'd like to have my life back. I have a beautiful wife and things that we want to do that this has been tearing us down.
Moved or sold.
I'm 90 years old, and I have a bad shoulders, I have a bad hip, and I have cancer, and I'm ready to sell it, yes.
It's a legal crossroads for Balcom and the barge. If it sells, the responsibility for moving it changes.
Clearly, if the vessel's been sold, he doesn't completely control that, but he does make a good faith representation that the vessel is likely to be moved by him through the letter that was provided to the court.
But Balcom is confident in closing the sale in the next 2 weeks and having the barge head out of the area.
I have money down on the barge, and they have 2 weeks to pay it off, the balance.
If the sale goes through, Balcom would face a lesser fine of roughly $500 for the initial oil discharge at the time of the sinking and a lesser charge in court.
The Attorney General did indicate that he would not necessarily oppose vacating the sentence and allowing him to have the benefit of a misdemeanor to the extent that the vessel is moved in advance of the date of 6/27.
If the sale falls through and the barge remains in place come June 27th, the original felony charge stays in place and a fine of about $2,500, but no jail time recommended.
The courts and the judges have been fair on this very much, and we have tried to do everything they've asked us to do.
Tried, but this latest attempt may be the one with the most traction, a potential buyer with a plan to move it, while its current owner admits it's time to move on.
We love Traverse City and the people, and it's just something I'm sorry it happened.
And the saga of the barge that became so difficult to move, and its owner who found it so hard to move on from it, may be nearing its final chapter.
The only thing that I can say on behalf of Mr. Balcom is he is a 90-year-old man. This represents his life's work. It is unfortunate that it ends this way. It's time for him to move on.
Again, while Balcom's deal with potential new owners has a self-imposed 2-week deadline, he technically has until June 27th to move it. At that time, if it hasn't been moved, the state can consider other solutions, including civil actions in court.
Taking a live look inside a Cadillac City Council meeting, a PFAS update is scheduled at the top of the agenda. The council will also discuss the budget and operations of the Local Development Finance Authority. The LDFA was created in the 1990s to decontaminate the groundwater in the industrial park in Cadillac. Tonight on UpNorthLive News at 11, hear from council members on the ongoing PFAS issue.
Happening today, a joint emergency management exercise is getting underway in Emmett County. The training is being held at the Pellston Regional Airport. The Sheboygan and Emmett County offices of emergency management are working alongside the Michigan National Guard for an exercise they say will enhance emergency response capabilities and coordination between local, state, and federal agencies. Law enforcement says the exercise will focus on areas near the Sheboygan River, Lake Huron, Little Traverse Bay Bands of Odawa Indians wastewater treatment plant, and the Pellston Regional Airport. We're told the public may see an increased presence of emergency response personnel in the area during the exercise, and it's set to continue tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And training underway in Kalkaska County this morning as well. County emergency management personnel collaborating with the National Guard, state police, energy companies, and local first responders. Photos of the action, which played out in various spots across the county. The exercise focused on enhancing the local emergency response and working on coordination with other agencies. Training for things like a future terror attack and other emergencies to be as prepared as possible.
The 31st annual Smart Commute Week kicked off in Traverse City today. Dozens of smart commuters arrived at North Peak Brewing this morning for the first free breakfast stop. The purpose of Smart Commute Week is to promote alternative forms of transportation and to educate people on the benefits of smart commutes. Individuals participated by walking, biking, and carpooling. Some came solo, others brought the whole family.
I think we all love it, so like having like that extra motivator for a full week to like really bond and then go out on our bikes in the morning and then just have some fun.
Free breakfast will be served daily from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. at various locations around Traverse City. Participants in the Commuters Cup Challenge can attend bonus point events to gain points for grand prizes that will be awarded on Friday.
It's not your typical rescue scenario, but law enforcement teamed up to save this little critter. The effort that brought this furry friend back to safety. Coming up next.
A warm day coming up tomorrow to be the warmest day of the week. We also have some showers and storms in the forecast, so look out when that rain arrives after the break.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.